Well, I got to tell you, Roger, when you brought this to my attention, I honestly didn't even believe it that this is the type of stuff that would be going on anywhere in government, let alone the VA. And this is the type of issue that you would expect to be hearing from the liberal side of things and the left side of things, but complete silence from there. And to me, Roger, this is a nonpartisan thing. This is a common sense thing. This is a humanitarian thing.
If you are receiving this transmission, you are the resistance.
Welcome back. You're at Freedom Command Central. That's right. It's the War Room with Roger Stone and Owen Schroyer. Yesterday, we talked about the bizarre medical experiments that are being conducted by the Veterans Administration on man's best friend. Yes, innocent dogs. And we revealed that sometimes puppies as young as 5 months are being subjected to bizarre medical experiments. Holes are drilled in their head, given crystal meth, having their lungs collapsed, inducing heart attacks. This is junk science. This is cruel and inhumane treatment. And as I wrote in the Daily Caller and spoke yesterday on the War Room, it has to stop. Joining us now, Anthony Bellotti, who is the head of the White Coat Waste Project, to discuss about what's going on at the Veterans Administration and how you can help us stop it. Welcome to the War Room.
Gentlemen, Roger, thank you for having us on today.
So, Anthony, tell us a little bit about your outfit and how you came to this important fight.
Thanks, Roger. So, White Coat Waste Project is completely different than any approach to talking about animal experiments that you've ever heard. We are a coalition of over 400,000 liberty lovers and animal lovers united against wasteful government spending that funds animal testing like the abuse you're helping to expose here at the VA. We're not talking about pharmaceutical testing, we're not talking about cosmetic testing, and we're not talking about private industry here. We're talking about beltway abuse. Government agencies like the EPA, the USDA, and what we're talking about here today is the VA. Last year,
go ahead.
Oh, sorry. So last year, we discovered that the worst of them all, the worst government dog abuser of them all, was actually the VA itself, the Department of Veterans Affairs, which was, as we found through looking through the databases, Freedom of Information Act work, whistleblowers, and piecing together as much of the money trail as we could, that the VA was doing things that would really make your skin crawl.
It's really quite extraordinary. Now, I understand, thanks to your fine work, that Congressman Brian Mast of my home state of Florida sponsored legislation which passed the U.S. House of Representatives unanimously, which means even the hapless Adam Schiff voted for it, to ban these bizarre, cruel, and inhuman experiments on man's best friend. But that the U.S. Senate has not taken up this legislation, which is horrifying. But it's my understanding that Secretary Shulkin, appointed by Donald Trump to head the Veterans Administration, and by the way, the president has signed over 10 pieces of legislation to reform the Veterans Administration to get better health care and attention to our vets, that Secretary Shulkin could do this essentially by fiat with a signature. So how do we make that happen?
Yeah, Roger, you said it. That's exactly right. The administration has rightly prioritized and done a heck of a lot to prioritize cleaning up that mess at the VA, the waste, fraud, abuse, and rank incompetence at the VA, and can end this with the swipe of one pen, one signature from Secretary Shulkin, and making your voice heard. Prisonersofwaste.org. Prisoners of Waste, like POW. That's what we're talking about here. Prisonersofwaste.org. We encourage everyone to make their voice heard, that taxpayers shouldn't be footing the bill for this rank government incompetence and outright taxpayer-funded torture at the VA.
Owen, what are your thoughts on this subject? I know that you're a dog lover.
Well, I got to tell you, Roger, when you brought this to my attention, I honestly didn't even believe it, that this is the type of stuff that would be going on anywhere in government, let alone the VA. And this is the type of issue that you would expect to be hearing from the liberal side of things and the left side of things, but complete silence from there. And to me, Roger, this is a nonpartisan thing. This is a common sense thing. This is a humanitarian thing. And it's really just heartbreaking to think that you've got puppies, and as you described it, you know, these dogs are getting their heads drilled into, and I mean, just the worst type of stuff. And it's just like, nobody knows about this? Why are we even doing this? This just sounds so obscene to me. So I'm hoping, Roger, I mean, we know, you know, anytime Roger Stone wants to comment on something, you know, he's a Russian agent, he's a Russian bot, he's this, that, or the other thing. Well, you know, how about give Roger a little credit here where it's due on an issue that he's covering and trying to raise attention of, and just put the politics aside. But I'm not seeing anyone else picking this up, Roger.
Well, I wish I could take credit, but the credit belongs to Anthony Bellotti and his group, because they brought this to my attention. And I got to tell you, Owen, I was shocked. It's hard to believe that in 2018, this kind of bizarre, medieval, cruel behavior to dogs is still going on, and it has no purpose. So I'm glad we had this opportunity to talk about it today. I'm not going to try to bother the president when he's in Davos, but I can guarantee you that I am going to reach out to him when he returns, because if Secretary Shokin doesn't have the good judgment to end this cruel behavior on his own, well, then the president has to order him to do so. We can't wait for the Solons in the U.S. Senate to act. There are puppies' lives in the mix. I can't sleep at night knowing that dogs are being tortured. That really sends a chill up my spine. So, Anthony, thanks for joining us on The War Room. Thank you for your fight. Tell people again where they can reach you and how they can help.
We encourage everybody watching the show today to make their voice heard at Prisoners of Waste, POW, prisonersofwaste.org. Go to whitecoatwaste.org as well, and find us on Facebook and Twitter. Make your voice heard.
Well, and for those of you who don't know, you can call the White House switchboard at 202-456-1414. That's 202-456-1414. And they are set up to record messages for the president. So call the White House now and tell them that the Veterans Administration abuse of man's best friend has to stop today. Many, many thanks, Anthony Bellotti from White Coast Waste Project, for joining us. Owen,
so we've got, oh, go ahead, Roger.
Owen, thanks for weighing